Welcome to Riftwalkers, everybody. I'm Ryan, the Dungeon Master, and oh, do we have an episode for you today. This is the proud debut of our newest permanent player to the table, Christine, who will be playing Mick, who you'll get to know very well. Thank you so much for listening and for your continued support. Without further ado, here's Riftwalkers. The white-robed assailants have been defeated. Their corpses lie at your feet in these darkened tunnels. Everyone is breathing heavily, especially Lirion, who still has a sizable crossbow bolt impaled in his sternum. Katiana actually rushes over to him, gives it a quick look, and then goes back to the doorway to this training room that leads to the tunnels, and she yells out for Ifran and goes, "Ifran, it's time to leave!"
Do I get to react to Ammon's final words? Because
Oh, that's right.
At the end of the episode,
right.
He did flick me the coin.
Yeah, so Luca flicked Ifran the coin that Ifran had given Luca to steal from him at some point during the day to prove his sneakiness.
So Ifran turns when he hears Luca, and he sees the coin coming, and he flipped at him, and he catches it in midair, looks at it between his fingers, and says, "Not bad, my friend. Not bad at all. Perhaps we can make use of you yet." And then Ifran, he rushes over towards Lirion, who is looking pretty rough.
At this point, Reese has also gone to Lirion's side and is attempting to either just stabilize him or see if he can help him at all.
A quick question. Katiana, did she kill the unconscious guy, or did she just, knock him unconscious? I can't
That's true,
remember
we
what
have an
happened.
unconscious
I think
You
he-
have an unconscious man. She killed the one that was...
He was kneeling down,
Yeah.
right? Luca walks over to the unconscious man. He's got his rapier out and ready. He's pretty sure he's going to stay unconscious, but doesn't want anyone to be jumped unexpectedly while staring at a gaping crossbow bolt in Lirion's chest.
Ifran, he's looking at Lirion's wounds, and he looks over at Reese. He says, "It does not look good. We must treat this immediately, but we do not have the facilities here.
So where do we go?
There is a base here in the city, a secret base where we can tend to his wounds and discuss our business further. Katiana, please, take care of that white flame over there.
I will do it.
Good. The rest of you, please, help me take Lirion. We will take him to my base."
And then, just in response to that, Reese positions himself behind Lirion, and I'm assuming we're kind of doing he leans back and we're carrying his feet and underneath his
We
arms
got a
type carry.
stretcher or something. Gotta be a couple of wooden poles lying around in this training dojo.
Lirion's also going to use Cure Wounds on himself. I didn't want to interrupt your talking, but that's what Lirion's going to do.
All right, as you attempt to do that, you will suffer 2 strain, and the spell is unsuccessful.
Oh, nuts.
Is there a specific reason? So we know for future reference?
For the spell not being
Yeah,
successful?
this is
No, this is the first time magic hasn't worked for you.
Okay.
Please, we will have to go back to the surface. We must be discreet and quick. The sewers do not connect to all of the bases for safety reasons, but we can make it there, hopefully without problem. And Ifran goes to grab actually a stretcher in the back, or goes to kind of make a makeshift stretcher using a couple of staffs and some cloth and whatnot.
You're successful.
After Ifran makes the stretcher, he asks Reese for his help to put Lirion onto it.
Reese does so.
He motions to Luca and Reese, tells you both to, pick him up, and he will lead you out.
Cool. We get out of the sewers. Ifran is leading us onward.
So Ifran weaves through some back alleys. He kind of stays away from main roads. He's also put a blanket on top of Lirion as you guys are holding him on the stretcher.
I'm glad you thought of that, because I was going to mention that it must look pretty odd having 2 guys carry a guy on a stretcher with a giant crossbow bolt through his chest.
Yeah.
It's natural.
He
He takes you, it looks to be, he takes you through the city, and it looks to be a little bit poorer area of town. Not exactly like slums or anything, but it's not like the fancy district. And he approaches a building, and he gives a small knock on the door in a very specific pattern.
And then a knock is returned in a different pattern.
And then one final knock in another pattern from Ifran. And the door opens.
It does. And you enter a empty antechamber. There is a door in the back. It's very lightly furnished with a few tables, wooden floors, wooden walls. There seems to be a staircase, but it's blocked by like just piles of furniture and old dusty things. And the door in the back, there's a little window. It looks like it leads into a courtyard of sorts between different houses. And from the courtyard, you hear the light pattering of a string instrument. So do you continue through the building?
Yes. I continue leading them back to where I know there to be medical supplies.
So yeah, as everyone enters the building, the door closes by itself behind you.
Ifran takes a quick look around the room, and then he goes straight towards the door in the back leading out to the courtyard.
So as your party enters the courtyard carrying Lirion, the grass is very green here. There's a small tree sort of growing in one of the corners, and you see different overhangs and balconies all around you. However, directly in front of you is a large wooden door with a bar across it, and sitting on a stool is a Taelic man in boisterous attire with a lute strumming away, who instantly notices your presence.
Meek, please. These are our guests, and they are in need of aid.
Oh, Ifran, what a pleasure. It's been a while. How have you been? Oh.
Yes, very good. I have never been better, but this one, Lirion, on the stretcher, he has seen better days, presumably. But please, we must tend to his wounds immediately.
Looks like a mere flesh wound to me, but I'll see what I can do.
I don't know how much I trust this person. Looks like a mere flesh wound.
Shh, don't worry, little one. I will help you. And I grab the medical kit and I get the little bandages out, and then I just like get my hand around the bow and I'm like, this will hurt a little bit. And I go 1, 2, and I snap it out.
All right, and pulling out this barbed quarrel from a crossbow.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, honestly, I was saying I don't blame Mick for yanking it out instead of pushing it through. Might have had given some problems considering its location.
I should mention I'm not really a doctor.
And Lirion starts bleeding.
Oh, gosh.
Reese at this point attempts to put pressure on it, grabbing some bandages from the same kit where Mick had just been reaching into.
Mm-hmm. Ifran goes to a small pouch nearby, and he pulls out a little herb, and he goes over to Lirion, and he places it in his mouth. It is for the pain.
It's weed.
Wait. Okay, did Lirion actually respond to that? Because all I heard was, it's weed.
Well, my question is, what is this world's stance on health potions?
There are none.
Good to know.
Lirion hasn't been like talking or anything because he's really worn out at this point. I mean, he's got a crossbow bolt ripped out of his sternum, and so he opens his mouth for Ifran to put it in, and he's just like, oh, okay.
So you taste a slight bitter note to the herb, and you feel your body start to go a bit numb. Not completely blocking out the pain, but dulling it quite a bit.
While I appreciate your friend's ministrations, I believe that a doctor might be a more effective tool at this moment.
I did my best.
I appreciated it. He just talks like that. He's not necessarily angry about it. Just the way he talks.
Please come this way to this large barb door behind me.
The guy's pointing down the front porch. There's a doctor behind the door. Let me check this out real quick. That was a mistake. Come back with me.
Wow.
Please come follow me. I unlatch the bar on the door, and then I take them through.
Okay, so then the man who has been referred to by Ifran as Mick leads you all into this much, much larger room It seems that, from the outside, it looked like these were all individual homes and different types of things. But on the inside, all the floors have been knocked out. All the walls have been knocked out. And so it's just this big amalgamation of different homes put together. Only the support structures remain, like big pillars. And everything else is just this flurry of activity in this large headquarters type assembly room. There are desks and tables scattered all over the place. There are at least 20 to 30 people mulling about doing different tasks. Everything is in this one big room. And you're instantly noticed coming in. Someone who's right by the door, smiles when they see Mick and Ifran walk in. But then when 3 strangers, one of them being carried, also saunter in, their face gets a little dim and they're like, wait, who is this that you've brought to the base?
Davik, these men are in need of our aid. Please, can you assist?
Yes, I can fetch a doctor.
Please do so. Thank you, my friend.
And Davik turns and he goes to one of the far sides of the room, talks with some people real quick that seem to be over by other different sorts of alchemical materials and equipment. And then one of them comes over, and both that new person and Davik, they take Lirion from Reese and Luca, who was carrying him.
Yep.
And they bring him over to that far side of the room, away from your group.
And I presume they start operating on him and...
Yep.
Yeah, so while they are operating and after we get a little bit further away, Reese takes a look around this sprawling base, and he's just kind of taking a look around. He's pretty familiar with militaristic organizational bases. Does this represent that, or is this more of a I don't know, well, he's just trying to get a feel for the intentions of this group?
It seems pretty bare bones, cut and dry, very efficient, like everything has a purpose, very military.
Okay, he tucks that little piece of knowledge in his brain.
At this point, now that the commotion over Lirion has died down and he's out of the picture for the moment, Mick, you probably notice Reese's Rift Warden rank insignia, which he's still wearing upon his chest.
Yes.
What is that you have on your chest?
Reese kind of turns the shoulder that has the insignia on it a little bit away and kind of makes an effort to pull a coat over it or something. It is nothing. It simply signifies something of where I come from.
It appears you're a long way from home, Warden.
With the word warden, Reese's eyes begin to burn a little bit more intensely behind the mask, and he just kind of stares at this man a little bit baffled. And then he just kind of turns to look over at Luca and backs up a little bit. That can't be. And he just kind of ignores him and walks over to Luca.
Interesting.
Where's Luca at this point?
Luca's just kind of chilling out in the background.
And so Reese goes up to Luca. Would anyone else possibly be able to know who we are?
It's been years for some of these people. And as shown by the condition of Yellowford, it's not exactly an organized effort for most.
Yes. And now kind of coming back to himself, he turns back around. Is Mick still just standing there where he was before?
Like, wait, what? You just left me.
I'm going to say, as Reese turns around, he sees Ifran standing right in front of him.
Okay.
What? Okay.
No, Ifran creeps.
Wait. Just wait. Reese,
yes.
is there anything I should know?
I think not. What do you know?
What do you want to know? Why are you here?
What's it to you?
What is your quest?
What? That's your favorite color.
I don't think so. I'd really like to talk to this Mick for a few more moments.
Very well. I will trust you because I consider you a friend.
And then the door bursts open again, and Katiana is there dragging this man who is no longer wearing a white robe. He's half naked. And
top half or bottom half?
Top half. And she meets eyes immediately with Ifran. She says, "Come help me over here with this."
Yes, Katiana. I'm right there. And he rushes over towards Katiana.
So Ifran has gone away with Katiana, and now that Reese and Luca have a moment alone with Mick and everything's kind of settling down, Chris, our new permanent cast member, finally at the table after many episodes. Welcome.
Thanks.
Why don't you give us a good picture of what Mick looks like?
So Mick is a nice bard. So he's like our DM said, is that he's boisterously clothed and everything. He has a lute, and he is, I'd say, like medium height, slender, and has brown hair and is like booming with confidence.
Does he have like long, wavy brown hair?
No, it's short.
Oh, okay.
It's short. It's actually, you would think it would be done really nicely, but
it's not. So he's kind of going for the bedhead look.
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay, cool.
You know.
Question.
Yeah.
Does he have a mustache?
Would you like him to have one?
I'm just wondering. He
look at his upper lip, and he has a pencil mustache.
I knew it.
Which also accounts for the confidence that he has as well.
Is there any visible weaponry on his person?
You see a little rapier to his side that's in a sheath. That's on his left side. And on his right side, you see a small dagger. And you can't see anything else, but who knows? He might have a little wink tricks up his sleeve.
I got a quick question. Also, being a man who uses rapier, would Luca know like the name of like kind of the schools of rapier thought? Like you study the so-and-so style?
Yeah.
Okay.
The dog and cat style.
Okay, cool.
All right, so as Ifran leaves and rushes off to help Katiana with the now half-naked man, I turn to Luca, kind of put my hand on his shoulder and just give him a little light push towards Mick. I think we need to have a chat with this one.
You're probably right. Let's.
And then we start walking towards. So, Mick, what are you doing right now in the few minutes that I had left you alone?
Oh, so I go off in the corner or something. My back is turned away from you because I'm doing something else over here, maybe looking at my loot a little bit because it's super cool. Anyways, and so I'm just doing my own little thing.
Okay. Then we just approach you. And as we get behind you, Reese just says, "Who are you really?"
I turn around and I say, "What do you mean by that question? My name is Mick, as I've told you."
Clearly. But...
Or did I?
As you have learned. Correct?
I'm sure you've put together by now that my name is Mick.
Yes, we have. But you said a particular word earlier, and I just want to know exactly what your intentions were behind it.
I say a lot of words. Have you heard me in the last 5 minutes?
Yes, I have.
I like Mick so much.
I'll get right down to it. We are not from this world.
Oh, no! Okay.
Catch out the bag, Ammon.
I was going to catch him in the trap with his rapier.
We can do that.
No. You've already.
All right.
Cat's out of the bag.
Said
man.
is said.
What's said is said.
Speak up. Too many explosives in my youth.
Used to play with a big brass band. Front row, bad seat.
Anyway, you were saying.
Oh my gosh. I can't remember. What did I just say?
You said we are not of this world.
Not of
and
this
then-
world.
So I said we're not from this world, and then Luca did his little thing.
Ammon did his little thing. Luca was just like,
I feel like Luca might have made the sound too.
I think Luca did.
Or at least he did that look where his eyes go really wide, just like.
yeah, I think it was more accurate to that. His eyes just went really wide. He's like, oh.
All right.
And then after Reese says that, or whoever this person is, then I go, well, that's apparent.
And to be quite honest, I don't think you are either.
What gives it away?
To be quite honest, no one here has any idea what this means, and I point to my little insignia. And most people tend to be a little bit more put off by the fact that I'm wearing a mask and have glowing eyes, whereas you seem to be completely unfazed. And during this whole time, Reese has kind of been moving closer, like kind of cornering Mick closer to the corner, trying to keep as far away from the other people as possible.
Well, I've seen many people in my life. What's a man in a mask?
At this, Reese is just completely like done with dealing with it. He just kind of turns around, goes over to Luca, and just says,
Wait, so it's only Reese who's backing me up in the corner?
Luca opened his eyes wide at the beginning and has then since let Reese take over this interrogation. He's just chilling.
all right. So Reese turns around, just kind of looks over his shoulder at Luca. I don't know what to do with this one. He's either insane or from our world. Either way, I don't think we need to bother ourselves with him much more.
Whatever you say, I'm just going to talk.
Reese
Okay.
walks away and goes towards the medical area just to watch Lirion.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. So Luca goes and I don't know if Mick is still standing pinned against the wall. I assume Mick did something else.
I brushed myself off because I'm like, ooh, that was a little too close for comfort. You know what I mean?
I go stand next to you. Your hands seem to be quite dexterous on that lute. Have you played for a long time?
Take me to dinner first.
That's what I was about to say that to Reese when he was back in the To get that information, you have to take me to dinner. Okay, so anyways, you say that. Not too long, I suppose. I actually can't remember where I got this old thing as I look at it and admire it.
Does it
lovingly.
look old and like roughed up, or is it pretty like well kept, really shiny, nice, and like old as in that it has been used, but it's well maintained? Or is it like
Yeah, I would say that. It's like, it's old, you can tell that. You can tell it's been well used.
got like those weird marks where you can see like where the hand keeps rubbing on the thing, so it's
Yeah.
like discolored. Cool. Anyways, Luca, he gestures down to the rapier and he's like, and with that, are you equally skilled?
Depends who's asking.
I am asking.
I see.
I'm really curious. I'm merely curious if you studied under. Crap! I wrote it down. I still can't say him.
Johnny.
Johnny! Yes, a great Johnny!
Yes, Johnny Dickshot. We all know his fighting style. He goes for the eyes.
Oh, that was pretty good.
And then some guy in the corner turns around and has no eyes. He's like, it's true!
Oh.
All right, what school of rapier fighting
No,
were you
so-
going to mention?
So, did you study in the styles of Cancino or Bianchi?
Consino Brianchi! Why, of course!
I think there was an or. I think it was
Oh, it must
casino.
be a distant cousin then, I suppose.
Cancino or Bianchi?
Cancio.
Beyonce! I'm sorry, I'm such a troll.
It's okay. It's adding a great amount of levity. I really like Mick.
Anyways,
Did you study in the style of Cancino or Bianchi?
perhaps a little both, depending on which time of the year you're talking to me.
So you are familiar with the masters then?
Indeed I am. Who is not, who wields such a weapon as this?
I too have studied in their style. Could I interest you in a bout then? Merely to the first touch, just to keep ourselves sharp?
I suppose I can, but this is no place for it. Let's go out into the courtyard.
Indeed.
All right, so then Mick and Luca head out into the courtyard. We'll flash back to you guys in a second. Right now, we're going to head over to Lirion and Reese and the doctors.
I tell you what Lirion's doing.
Well, I imagine at this point, Lirion's unconscious. So,
Actually, no, you've retained consciousness.
I'm sure he's loving
immense
it.
pain.
I gave
Actually,
him something to numb
I have
the
the
pain.
I have the numbing agent
That's
or
true.
whatever.
What is the strange herb?
That's actually what they call it here.
It's called marijuana.
Mary
called-
Jane.
The weed. Cannabis. Commonly referred to as the weed.
Anyway, so yes, the doctors, they've sealed your wound. They've fitted sort of a brace to your chest and your back that limits your movement a little bit, especially when moving your torso. You kind of have to keep your arms a little up too. So it might be hard to shoot. Actually, it'll probably be pretty easy to shoot a bow. Your bow shooting ability probably hasn't changed. However, you still have that major wound and it will take time to heal.
Yeah, I imagine a broken sternum takes some time to heal.
One of the doctors looks over at Reese. She's a little taken aback initially by the mask.
Reese takes great comfort in that.
She seems to be actually the same race of humans as Ifran. She's a little shorter. Her skin has like a tinge of gold to it, sort of light hair bordering on auburn, cropped short. And she says, I expect your friend to make a full recovery. However, I would be more careful with him in the future. This injury easily open up again if you do not give him the proper time.
Well, unfortunately, I do not think we have much control over what happens to our dear friend here, but I do thank you for taking such good care of him. This is quite the operation you have here. I can't help but wonder what it all is for.
I'm sorry, I don't believe I'm quite at the liberty to discuss that with you.
Of course not, but perhaps you could help me out with our friend Ifran there. He seems rather inquisitive about our beings, and quite frankly, I think that with the information we've given him, he owes us some sort of goodwill in turn.
To give him all due credit, you are very odd-looking, both of you.
That we are, and I say it only out of curiosity, but this all seems a bit out of place from where we come from as well, so forgive my good-intentioned questions.
Very well. What is it you would like to know about our Ifran?
I guess I will be content just knowing what his position here in this operation is. I can tell no clear organization, no clear leader, but Ifran does seem to have quite a bit of sway in the goings-on here.
He is one of us, one of the children of Oriel.
And this Oriel, is that one of you here, or is Oriel a deity figure?
She looks at you kind of incredulously. Oriel is one of the ethereals.
Of course. Sorry, I'm a little weary from our journeys. I merely forgot. And then he kind of turns back over and goes over to Lirion. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, considering the fact I just got hit by a crossbow bolt.
And Reese kind of chuckles at that. He's like, yes, you took that rather well, and surprisingly, you're actually recovering quite quickly. Do you wish to continue resting, or should we go see what Luca's up to?
I think a rest will do me well.
Very well. Well, I saw Luca heading out the door with this strange man who knew that we were wardens, but I'll go check up on them. You get your rest.
Reese, before you go.
Yes?
I don't know what it was, but after the end of our battle, I tried to cast a spell, and I wasn't able to. I don't know what it was, but I felt very weak and weary.
Reese is pretty troubled by this. You can't really tell because his facial expressions are hidden, but he sits down on the bed next to where Lirion is, and he just lays his hand on the wound that is now bandaged and attempts to harness the energy that's in him to heal a little bit of the wound there, which normally he can do with great ease.
You're able to easily do so, and it actually does speed up this process. It doesn't have quite the magnitude of an effect that you're used to, and you don't feel nearly as drained as what Lirion described during his little ordeal there. However, it's still an odd feeling.
Okay. So he does that. He notices, and he does see the faint glimmers of blue sparks that go down his hand and into the wound that he's used to, but he does notice the slightly draining feeling.
And on top of that, you also just sort of feel a general distance from your deity to which you are a paladin of.
Then Reese mentions this to Lirion. I don't think I quite feel it to the effect to which you have described, but I do sense something odd. Well, we won't worry about it now. Get your rest. And then he continues back on his way to go out to the courtyard.
And Lirion says, be careful.
We're going to go over now to Ifran and Katiana as they have this prisoner from the White Flame. Katiana and Ifran, you're picking up the feet of this guy. She's got the arms. And you bring him to the very back and the very furthest corner to where there are separators that have been erected either out of wood or stone or whatever masonry has been left over from breaking down all the floors and walls that used to be in this structure. And this seems to be more of a command center type place. Everyone here, they're definitely more well-dressed than everyone else. They don't carry rank like on their clothing or whatnot, but it's apparent from just their general air and how they hold themselves that these are people in positions of leadership. And so you and Katiana bring this prisoner over, and she just like lets go, and his head and shoulders just smack onto the floor.
Yeah, Ifran does not waste any effort trying to hold on to his legs.
This Fellish woman walks over. She's short for a Fellish woman. However, she carries herself with great pride. Very straight shoulders all the way across, very broad. And she says, "What is this you've brought me?"
Miriel, it is a member of the Order of the White Flame. They attacked us in the Western Outpost.
Are you quite sure?
I am quite sure. He was accompanied by others, all bearing white robes.
Katiana speaks up and she's like, "It is true. I was there as well. It is not something that was an easy fight." Muriel looks between the two of you and she motions to the unconscious man on the ground. She's like, "Very well. Bring him here. Both of you need to be debriefed immediately. And you, especially, Ifran, for bringing these newcomers into our ranks so unannounced."
As you wish, Miriel.
So she leads you over to sort of a desk-like area separated from everyone else. And she motions for you to sit across from her as she sits down at the desk.
Ifran, very respectfully, takes a seat across from her.
She takes out a piece of parchment and a quill, an inkwell, and she says, "Now, tell me, how did this encounter go exactly? And these new friends of yours, who are they?"
First, I will answer your first question. I was with my new friends, testing them in the Western Outpost to test their skills. When Katiana and Onrek came, they were very panicked.
Yes, those two are usually together. Where is Onric now?
He did not survive the attack. The white flames were close behind them. Unfortunately, Onrek was felled by a crossbow bolt. We managed to repel the attack with the help of these strangers, even managing to capture one of them.
Yes, that is apparent. Go on.
In the battle, one of them was wounded. The man you see there, his name is Lirion. And he points across the room. He was wounded. I thought it prudent to take him here where his wounds could be treated. As for your second question, how I came to know them, I met one of them in a tavern. He seemed very odd. He had money that I had never seen before, and he spoke of an empire. He claims to be from the east, over the mountains, outside of the fell.
That is impossible.
So thought I. But here he is, and his other compatriots. If he did not come from the east, where did he come from?
That is a very good question. I do not know. Nor would I know of anyone who had such an intent for espionage in this city. Well, other than the enemies of the Count, but we know the enemies of the Count, for we are them.
Yes, it is true. But yet we have not heard of these fellows. But I have a good feeling about them. They have proven to be most useful. You see, Rhys, he is a great warrior, and Luca, Rhys is the masked one. Luca, the shorter one, he is very light on his feet. Lirion is a great archer when he is not on a sickbed. And they have expressed interest in disposing of the Count.
Well, we could use all the help we can get our hands on. I fear the Count's forces have begun to grow wise to our presence here, and the White Flame, of course, is not making this easy to move against him. I have an assignment for you. I know you've just gotten back, however, being one of our top agents, and having this entourage of yours that seems willing to help you, and I suppose you've struck some sort of deal with them in exchange, we could use your help immediately.
Anything.
In 6 days' time, there will be a great ball held by Count Algier himself in the Moorland Estate in the northern Barrowlands. Between now and then, I need you to secure passage into this ball. It may be the opportunity we've been waiting for to strike either at the Count himself or his closest confidants. In the meantime, however, we have arranged a deal of sorts with Baron Huttle from the west across the river.
Ah, Baron Huttle. The Count has been stealing his lands, if I am not mistaken.
That is correct, for some time now, and Algier's most recent move against him has left our good Baron weak and weary. And I fear that, without Baron Huttle putting up a resistance, the Count will take over all of southern Taylor, quite possibly moving northward into the Fell Kingdom itself.
That would be very bad indeed. The nature of this deal with Baron Huttle.
We have promised him aid in reclaiming the stream barrows, which are where his ancestors have been buried for centuries. These lands were taken by Algier many months ago. In exchange, the Baron has promised support for our mutual goals. Across the neck in his city of Marehold, he is holding some very important prisoners in his dungeon, ones integral to uncovering the Count's operation. I need you, and, of course, your new friends, to travel to Marehold, interrogate these prisoners, and find out what you need to know in order to infiltrate the ball and deal with the Count.
Very well.
You will have every available resource we have at your disposal.
In return for helping us, we then will help Baron Huttle reclaim the stream barrows.
In due time.
Very well. I will do this. If I may ask a favor, I believe Meek would be useful for this mission.
If you would deign it helpful, yes, I could see where his skills might come in handy.
Yes, I agree. Meek can be very distracting, which is a good quality.
I legit now want to see Mick at this ball. It's like dancing with some lady or whatever. Oh, yes, I quite enjoy my time here. And yourself?
Dips. Looks for information. Brings it back up.
That's his move there.
All right, so we're going to flash outside then to Luca and Mick. Rapiers drawn, circling each other in the courtyard.
How do we do this? 'Cause I'm not actually trying to stab. Like, I just want like a little ting, 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 ting. I want it to be like the Princess Bride.
An assault. I'm looking up terms and fencing.
Excellent. So, Luca, he's pulled out his rapier. He's put it forward. He's got into his appropriate stance for a sporting fight instead of an actual combat fight. And he's kind of like waiting ready for Mick to do whatever Mick is going to do.
And then I walk to my position slowly and I say to him, "Be careful, boy. I'm a lot more skilled than I look."
Then I will keep myself ready and he moves in for the first strike, going at just a nice little swing just to give a tap on Mick's shoulder.
Okay, and then I come and I see your advance and I parry your attack.
So the entire time, Luca is just looking at Mick's stances and his motions and his movements. And while he's going through these, Luca's going pretty aggressive. He's going on the attack, trying to hit the shoulders, trying to hit the knees with the flat end of his blade, not causing any damage, hitting the sides as well. Those are his main objectives, avoiding any sort of actual thrust that might hurt.
Mm-hmm. And with every fell swoop that you give and every advance, I parry it and I deflect it.
Okay.
And so I'm like, you show some skill yourself. But you're going to have to be better to beat me.
Luca then, he kind of stops, kind of pulls himself out of it. He's back in his sparring stance and says, you yourself are also quite skilled. You've been able to stop me every time, but I have yet to see any attempt on your part.
A challenge. I like it.
Indeed.
And then I come at it and then I attack him.
Cool.
And then I go and I advance and I try to go for your shoulder.
All right, so I'm kind of copying you in the sort of parrying any attack that you throw at me, but I'm also trying to do a little riposte. So, when you attack, I see an opening, I do go for the strike. I don't just stay on the defensive, so I'm trying to make it like an active conversation of blades.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's called a metaphor.
That was beautiful.
And you carry on like this for a good while to the point where you're both sweating. The sun is beating down on you in this little courtyard. You both go in for one quick blow, and you both tap each other at the exact same moment. Your swords crossed in the middle, just barely touching each other. And you're panting, you're out of breath. It's a draw.
Luca, he kind of, the tap, holds it there for a sec. We're all panting. He just whips it back, slides it into its sheath, and then just says to Mick, it's been a long time since I've had such an interesting bout. Thank you. I enjoyed that immensely.
Indeed, it was great. I enjoyed it as well. Somebody who knows the art themselves. And then I put mine back in the sheath.
That was good.
And then from across the courtyard, previously unseen, this man sort of stands up from where he was leaning against the wall, and he just begins slowly applauding. And as he steps out into the light, he draws a rapier as well. And he says, why not go for 2 against 1 and see how you truly fare?
Is this that prick from before?
And it absolutely is. He is, however, dressed very differently from when you last saw him, now in garb quite similar to Mick's. And as he points his rapier between you, he simply smiles.